We told you it was going to be a busy week here as we prepare for opening day. On this brand new episode, we're going to talk about some important Yankee updates that have come about, and we're also going to give you our over-unders for the 2021 regular season. All this and more on this brand new episode of the Pinstripe Talk podcast, which begins right now.
You are listening to the Pinstripe Talk podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to yet another edition of the Pinstripe Talk podcast, powered to you by Delahanty Media. I'm your host, Nick Delahanty. We just had a show a couple of days ago, and I told you it was going to be a busy week for us. We are trying to gear you up for the start of the Yankees regular season, which begins on Thursday, April 1st. We are excited. We're hoping the rain holds up. It's supposed to be a little crummy in the New York area, but hopefully the Yankees can play some baseball. We have a lot to talk about today. Brian Cashman had a special press conference on Monday that sent Yankee Twitter into a frenzy. We're going to talk about all those updates and more. And then we're going to do some fun over-unders that have been developed by some of our close friends here at the Pinstripe Talk podcast. So we're going to have some fun with that. We're excited for that segment of the show. But before we get started, friendly reminder, follow us on Twitter at Pinstripe Talk ND, my personal account, Nick Delahanty, and on Facebook by searching up Pinstripe Talk Podcast. Again, you can follow us on any podcasting platform, whatever that may be, whether it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review the show. All feedback does help our brand. And also, while you're at it, check out our main brand, the Delahanty Media brand, by going to our website, delahantymedia.com, where you can find all the latest news and updates surrounding our show and much, much more. Let's jump right into it, shall we? And I'm going to start with the special Brian Cashman press conference that came about on Monday. Wow. Where do you start with that? First and foremost, Aaron Boone was supposed to talk to the media around 11:30. The big topic, which we're going to get into, was Aaron Judge was not in the spring training finale lineup, which featured the majority of the Yankee starters. So there was a lot of questions and concerns about Judge, especially given that he hadn't played in a few days. Boone's press conference ends up getting canceled, and the Yankees announced that Brian Cashman would then be speaking in a little while. And that got delayed, and it ended up going into the game time, but it sent everybody into a frenzy because, number one, everybody thought there was something wrong with Judge. Number two, everybody thought that there might be a trade on the horizon. Number three, you heard people say, oh, they're going to name a captain, which I kind of didn't think was going to ever happen at that point. And four, maybe a contract extension for one of their guys. But again, it just didn't add up. So the main thing was everybody thought there was something wrong with Judge. And to be quite honest with you, I was a little nervous as well, especially given the last day before the Yankees head off to the Bronx. You never want to hear that your star player is going to be out, especially to start the year. And given that they just lost Luke Voit a couple of days earlier. But it's not the case. Aaron Judge is okay. Let's start off there. Cashman said that Judge was feeling under the weather, had to go through Major League Baseball protocols. They think it's allergies because of the pollen in Florida. They think that he'll be ready to go. He is with the team. They said he should be in the lineup on Thursday, so all signs point to good things for the Yankee star right fielder. Some other news and notes that Cashman discussed as part of his press conference. Luke Voit was scheduled to have his surgery on Monday night in New York, and reliever Justin Wilson will begin the season on the injured list, which was kind of expected with his shoulder injury. The Yankees feel that he's in a good spot, but instead of rushing him back, they're going to give him the extra time to build up and get ready to go. And I agree with that decision. I think the Yankees have enough bullpen help to get them through for the time being. Cashman also suggested that reliever Zach Britton, who we all know is out with the bone chip surgery that he had, he could be possibly back in the mix at some point in late May or early June. That's kind of like the target date the Yankees are giving. Who knows if that's going to be the case for the Yankees? You look at it, you're without Britton for probably 2 months. You hope that it's not longer than that. Cashman also noted that Tyler Wade and Michael King have made the 26-man roster. They have one more spot that remained undecided at that given point. Wade, you just can't seem to get rid of the guy. Guy's got like 9 lives plus more. It's just incredible, but I understand why he made the roster because of the defensive versatility. The Yankees aren't concerned with him offensively. Yeah, what they get out of him is a bonus, obviously, but they're concerned that he can play defense and help them at multiple positions. They think they have enough offense to get by. So a guy like Wade has the ability to play short. I think they're thinking long term, if something happens to Gleyber Torres, they're going to need somebody to fill in at that shortstop position. Not ideal. Yankee fans seem to be tired of Wade, but I understand the logic. And King had a good spring. It looks like the ball's coming out of his hand well. I expected to see a lot of him this year. Whether it's in the bullpen or in a spot starter type of role, I think the Yankees are going to find ways to use him and utilize his skill set to be able to get multiple innings out of him at a time and kind of keep him stretched out. Then some kind of good news the Yankees got. Derek Dietrich, who opted out, and Robinson Chirinos, who the Yankees actually released to explore other opportunities, are both back with the Yankees. They'll be at the alternate site. Chirinos had that wrist surgery. He will be rehabbing. Dietrich gives them some more minor league depth and flexibility in case somebody goes down due to injury. So, I think that's a good thing for the Yankees. Could never have too much depth. But they did lose Jhoulys Chacin, who had a good spring. He was released. He's going to look at other options. There's a possibility he could be back. You don't want to close the door on that, but the way he threw the ball in the spring, I think that somebody will take a chance on him. So I don't expect him to be back anytime soon. Now, on the trade front, no, the Yankees have not made a trade, but Brian Cashman said the Yankees received many calls on outfielder Mike Tauchman, which shouldn't be a surprise given that teams could definitely use some outfield flexibility and some depth, but he said that nothing matched up to the value that they have internally for Tauchman, which is why Tauchman is still here. As you guys know from our last show, Tauchman has made the opening day roster, which shouldn't be a surprise because if he didn't, the Yankees were going to have to release him or trade him because he is out of minor league options. So they were kind of stuck in a tough spot there. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Yankees have announced 25 of their 26 men on the roster. They have one more spot to fill. It looks like it's going to be another reliever. We'll have to wait and see who that is, but here's how it plays out. Your 5 starting pitchers, you have Garrett Cole, Corey Kluber, Domingo Germán, Jordan Montgomery, and Jameson Taillon. Your relievers, you have Chapman, O'Day, Loizica, Green, Sessa, Nelson, and King. Your 2 catchers, obviously, Sanchez and Higashioka. In your infield, you have Bruce, LeMahieu, Gleyber, Urshela, and Wade. And then your outfielders, you have 6 of them. You have Judge, Hicks, Stanton, Frazier, Gardner, and Tauchman. So you still have one more spot to be announced. It might be Lucas Litke, who we talked about on the last show, who had a really good spring. The Yankees would have to make some 40-man roster adjustments to make that happen, which could be the case, but it could be him. They could definitely use another left-hander out of the pen. Remember, they're going to be short on opening day with Noah Roldis Chapman, but they're in a good spot. If you look at the roster, yes, you would like to have Luke Voit there. You would like to have Wilson. You would like to have Britton, but they have enough depth to get them through right now, and I think that they're going to utilize that depth, and you're going to see a lot of moves early on in the year to make sure they keep everybody fresh and healthy throughout the entire 162-game slate. So that's where we kind of sit with Cashman's update and how the Yankees are situated right now. The announcement, yes, it kind of scared people because obviously we all thought that there was something wrong, that the world was going to end, but it was good to hear from Cashman and not have any completely terrible news because I think everybody was waiting for that doomsday news that Aaron Judge was going to be out till August or September and really just crush the souls of Yankee fans as we anxiously await the start of opening day. So the updates were good, gave us some good feedback as to what's going on, and we could finally take a deep breath because for that hour and a half to 2 hours that we kind of panicked waiting for it, everything seems to be okay, Yankee fans. Relax, breathe, take a deep breath in, and a deep breath out. We survived it. We're all good for now. Let's hope that stays the same for the long haul here. All right, now that we talked about the Yankees news and notes that were very important to keep you guys up to date on, it's time for our official Pinstripe Talk podcast over-under predictions for the 2021 regular season. I got to give a shout out to my group chat of my boys helping me out with these over-unders. They did a fantastic job of giving me some insight and ideas. I didn't want to pick them on my own, so I asked the boys, and they took care of me. So remember, always trust your boys. They got your back. Now, let's start off with some good ones here. I got a good one. Aroldis Chapman, 20-plus saves. I'm going to go over, obviously. I think he gets into the 30s. The way the Yankees are, I think he gets closer to 30, 35. I think that's a low number, but that was a number that was suggested, so I stuck with it. 65 home runs combined for Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. This one was a little tough for me. You're looking at 32 homers each, or a little more than that. I'm going to go with the over there. I think that they're both going to be healthy. I think Giancarlo's starting to understand how to keep himself healthy as the DH. He understands now, you may not run for a couple of hours. You got to stay in shape and stay healthy and keep yourself active. I'm going to go the over there. I think they're both going to mash this year, and I think the Yankees are going to really benefit from that. Now, I was suggested 120 games played for Aaron Judge. As much as I have my doubts, I don't want to jinx you, Yankee fans. I'm going to go over. I'm going to say closer to 130, 135 for Judge. I think he's going to stay healthy. It's such a big year for him, too. You got to remember also, his contract's up at the end of next year. He has to prove he can stay healthy. Everything he's had has been fluke injuries. It hasn't been anything that, you could really write home about that. He got hurt. They were fluke injuries. So I think he's going to stay healthy. I think this is the year that he's able to get that done. 25 starts for Corey Kluber. I'm going to go under. I think the Yankees are going to push him for 20, try to space him out for the postseason. I'm going to go 20 there, so I'm going to say under. 2.60 ERA for Cole. That's a tough one. As much as I want to say under, because that basically puts him right in the Cy Young Award contention, I'm going to say a little higher. I'm going to say closer to 2.8 for him, so I'm going to go over on that one. I think Cole's going to have a monster year. I think the Yankees can stay healthy. He'll be, the guy that we all anticipate him to be. So I'm going to go over there, but not by much. I think he's going to be around that area for the Yankees this year. 10 wins for Jameson Taillon. That's a tough one. Wow, where do you go from there? I think Taillon's going to have a good year. I think that the Yankees are going to spread him out to the point where they don't overuse him. I think that you're looking anywhere from 20 to 25 starts. As much as I want to say over on this one, I'm going to go under, but not by a lot. I think he's going to get you 8 or 9 wins. I would love to see him go over 10. I'm going to go under here. I think it's a tough one. I just think the way the Yankees' rotation is going to be, how they're going to space everybody out, and knowing that he hasn't pitched, I don't know if he gets over 10 wins. It's possible with the Yankees lineup and how capable Taillon is when he's effective, but I'm going to have to go under here. That's a tough one for me. Now, Luke Voit, the home run leader from last year, 30 homers. This is a tough one for me because now with him out, I'm going to say under. We saw what he could do in 60 games, so it's possible he could hit 30. I'm going to say 20 to 25 homers for Voit. In a full season, he's going to miss that month and a half, regardless, whenever he comes back. I'm going to say closer to 20, 25 once he gets going. I think he'll get hot. He'll have a hot stretch kind of like he did last year, and he'll still be a very big contributor for this Yankee team. DJ LeMahieu, the American League batting champion, over under 320 batting average. I'm going to say this is a tough one for me because I want to, in his 2 years with the Yankees, LeMahieu's obviously hit over 320. Hit 327 in his first year, 364 last year. But I think the teams are going to start trying to be more careful around him, which leads me to think the average might drop a little bit. But I'm going to go over because, I don't want to bet against DJ LeMahieu. The guy's been a monster. I think he's just a flat-out hitting machine. So I expect him to hit probably like 320, 325 this year. I don't expect 364 again. If he hits like that, the guy deserves the MVP award. But I could definitely see him hitting anywhere in the 320s. That isn't a stretch for a guy of DJ LeMahieu's caliber. The next one we're going to do goes back to the pitching side of things, and it goes with Chad Green. 55 appearances over under on the right-hander. I'm going to go over. I think he's going to be the most valuable weapon in the Yankees bullpen. I think that Aaron Boone is going to use him in multiple roles. I could see them relying on him heavily, especially with guys like Britton out and Wilson, and you're going to have injuries throughout the year. So if he stays healthy, I'm looking at closer to 60 to 65 appearances for Chad Green. I wouldn't be surprised if he leads the team in appearances this year. So I'm going to go over that 50 number for Chad Green. Now, I thought this one was a joke, but it wasn't a joke. Over under 50 games played for Tyler Wade. I know this one's going to bite me. I know it's going to. I'm going to go back in a couple of months and I'm going to be like, why did I do that to myself? Wade played in 52 games last year, was one of 4 Yankees to play in more than 50 games. Remember, it was only 60 game schedule, so we saw a lot of Tyler Dean Wade. I'm going to go. I can't even stop laughing. I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to go over. And the reason I'm going to go over is I know the way the Yankees' injury history is. I expect him to play a lot. I expect the Yankees to utilize him a lot, especially with Luke Voit out. You're going to see LeMahieu at first a couple of days. You're going to see Wade at second, get some reps at short. I'm going to go over. I don't know if it's much over 52 games, but I do see him playing more than that number. I felt like if I went under, the guy would end up playing in like 100 games, and I would really just ruin it, and you guys would blame me and never listen to the show again. So I got to take the over here, and maybe some reverse psychology would work here, but I'm thinking over for Tyler Wade. I think that they're going to find a way, all kidding aside, to keep him in the loop because I think they like his intangibles, and they just hope that he can figure it out offensively to be a contributor steadily that would really help them, especially given his speed and his ability to make things happen on the bases. A couple of more here that we have. Gary Sanchez, a very interesting topic here. Gary Sanchez, 20 home runs, over under. I'm going to go over. I think Gary's in for a year where his average might not wow you. Maybe he hits like 220, 230, but I think that he's in line to kind of get back on track here. I like what I saw from Gary in the spring. I'm hoping defensively he's able to hold up. I think he's got a lot to prove, and I think he's ready to start proving it. So I'm going to go over. I'll say closer to 25 homers for Gary Sanchez. Now, while we're on the Sanchez topic, got a little hate because, certain Mets fans like to hate on the Yankee strikeout tendency. 550 strikeouts for Sanchez, Stanton, and Judge combined. I'm going to go under. I'm hoping for the under. If they go 550 strikeouts between the three of them, we're in trouble. But I'm going under there. They're saying 200 strikeouts for a healthy Judge, 200 strikeouts for a healthy Sanchez, 200 strikeouts for a healthy Stanton. Hopefully that's not the case. That's a lot of Ks for 3 guys. Hoping that's not the issue, but we'll go from there. Over under 5 ejections for Aaron Boone. I like when Booney gets heated up, but I don't think it's going to be 5. I'm going to say closer to 3. I'm going to go under on that one. And finally, 97.5 wins for the Yankees. I'm going to go over. Yankees win 100 games this year, I think. Betting man, I'm going to say they're going to win 100 games. I don't know. I just got a gut feeling. I know a lot of the projections have them lower, closer to 90, 95 in that range, but I think the Yankees are going to get hot. The division the way it is, I think that they could capitalize if they stay healthy. I'm going to go 100 wins and take the division as a whole. Well, that was a lot of fun. And I told you we were going to have a lot more in store for you this week. We're inching closer to opening day, and as that comes along, make sure you continue to follow the Pinstripe Talk team. We're going to keep giving you shows and giving you content as the weeks go on, and we're finally getting closer to regular season baseball. Follow us on Twitter at Pinstripe Talk ND. Let us know what you think about our over-under predictions. Go to my personal account, Nick Delahanty. Tweet me some Yankee stuff. I love talking Yankees baseball with you. And find us on Facebook by searching up Pinstripe Talk Podcast. And as always, our show is available on all podcasting platforms. Subscribe, rate, and review on whatever podcasting platform you so choose to use. And check out our YouTube stream where our audio side of our podcast is also available for you. Hit that little red button. We appreciate all the support you guys give us. Told you it was going to be a busy week, just like we said in the opening. We're excited that you came back for some more. If you're new to the show, we thank you for tuning in and checking out our show. We hope you come back for some more. As always, let's go Yankees. Get your gear ready for Thursday. It's going to be an exciting day watching Cole in the Bronx. be on the lookout for some more Pinstripe Talk podcast content over the next couple of days. And as always, let's go Yankees. Once again, I'm Nick Delahanty, the host of the Pinstripe Talk podcast, and we'll talk to you really soon. Take care, everyone.